No, I don't like to do that.
Welcome to Dirty Tea Podcast. This is your girl V Savage in the building. And we're continuing with season 3. And I got my girls and Mr. Boombastic here. Say hi, Mr. Boombastic. Because he got a mouthful of food. I had to catch him. Put him on the spot. We're coming back around here. Izzy.
It's your girl, Izzy. Hi, it's Melly Mel here.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. You know, get the gang together. Gang.
I'm here.
And yeah, I'm just, gotta fuck with my boy. But just to let y'all know, y'all girl is now officially the brand ambassador for Tito Vachi. Woo!
Yay!
Yes.
You were
More
so wild.
collaborations coming up. There's a lot, going on. Gonna keep it hush hush, but for now, you will see your girl in Tito Vachi'd out pretty soon, and looking for models and looking, to do some projects in the future. So hit your girl up at Dirty Tea Podcast at Gmail if you're interested. Send me some modeling pics. Oh my God, the pics. Send me the pics, not the pecs.
Can it be both?
No, thank you.
bit of both.
Unless you don't mind your shit popping up on OnlyFans, because we got to pay the bill somehow. But yeah, send me your pics if you're interested in doing some modeling. And we have rooftop parties we gonna be doing in the summer. There's gonna be a lot going on with that. And I'll keep you guys posted. But let's get back on track. So today's episode is not just about your first love, but maybe how it impacted your future relationships. Does there anyone compare to that initial feeling when you were untainted? When you were no walls up. Now I got the Trump Towers up. Like, the Trump Towers are sky high. And I'm like, who sent you? Yeah. So, I don't know. How do you guys feel about it?
Sorry, I had to take that little shotty shot.
You drunk the whole bottle?
I thought we were taking a shot.
I thought her response was
I
gonna
mean,
be, it's nothing like Jim Beam.
all the way up. You do things and
First
all the
love.
way up.
First
love, Jim Beam. I guess my thought on it is like when I think of first love, doesn't even have to be the first person you're with or first person whatever. It's that first person like you had like those feelings with, those emotions with, that connection with, that thereafter, because it probably for a lot of us didn't work out. Every relationship thereafter, in your head subconsciously, if only at the beginning, you always kind of compare the two, and you're always kind of like, why don't I feel that way, or why don't I have the same kind of chemistry? And yeah, I don't know. That was my thought on it.
Do you feel like your initial first love, would you still consider them your first love? You know how sometimes you're like, ooh, no, that wasn't love. That was like puppy love, or that was just like lustful.
Yeah. So I guess how I describe it, like yeah, yes and no. I think it's a different kind of love. So I've been with Mr. Perfect for 12 and a half years, and I call him perfect. We could get into that another day because everyone else thinks he's perfect. That has nothing to do with me. So don't think I'm over here like Mr. No, it's just whatever.
Yeah.
But I've been with him for like 12 and a half years, and we've discussed this. He has his first love. I have my first love. And it's like the feeling isn't the same. That first love to me is almost like you have those blind spots where you just like push everything to the side and you don't see it. And it's always like that underlying feeling of like you're so infatuated or in love with them. Whereas when you're like in that real love, it's like you have days where you hate the person. You have days where you feel like you're roommates, or where you feel like, you know, that's why they say love is work, because you have to work through those ebbs and flows, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas with your first love, I think you just let yourself remain blind to it because of that feeling. At least that's how it was for me. That's how it was for him. Like, I had to be absolutely appalled with him before I could, like, you know, get out of that. And same for him. And I think even like hearing stories from other men and other women, they can't always, like, I feel like they can't always have healthy relationships because they're always like oh, I don't feel that way about him. I'm not feeling chemistry. I'm not feeling this. I don't know if they're the one, because I wonder if they're always chasing that feeling that they had.
Chasing the dream.
Yeah, and I feel like
Mr.
that
Boombastic
feeling wasn't like real.
You remember your first love?
It was a windy day.
No. All right, I'm gonna be
trees
honest
were
with you.
rustling.
Listen, man. I just feel like sometimes when you think about first love, it gotta be like real. It gotta be like, I don't know. You would have to like know the trials and tribulations to understand what love is, to be like my first love.
So when you were a teenager, there was no one where you'd be like, I love that person now?
I don't feel like when I was a teenager I was in love. I was in lust with a lot of women when I was a teenager. Love is like something that's like tough. Because like she said, you like sometimes you really like hate the person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be in a situation that's like, you know this isn't for you, but you're just hanging on because like it's a comfortability thing, and it's like a bunch of things.
We do that as adults too, though.
That's what I mean. I feel like you can't really say you were in love until you witness adulthood. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's different statures of like even being in relations with people. Like, you might feel like you're in love because someone has good sex, or like you're just comfortable there, or you know, you just link on a lot of different levels. It's not really like, yeah, of course. Some women get stigmatized.
Not this one. How about you, Izzy?
I mean, let's hear it, Izzy.
I don't know. That's tough, like you said, because, yeah, when you're young, I think you feel like you're in love with everyone that you're with. You know?
It's kind of euphoric, though.
Huh?
It's kind of euphoric. Like,
yes,
you never
definitely.
know what this is like, so it's new
definitely.
to you.
I don't know. I had a different experience. I don't know.
That's why I said I can't really, pinpoint any specifics, but I mean, every relationship I was in, I was kind of thinking, I'm in love, I'm in love, but it's like, were you really in love? That's the question. I don't know.
You know you're in love when the toxicity comes out.
So now like I said,
or you knocking on a motherfucker's door in the middle of the night.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that happens often.
I got a question for you, Izzy. Do you think now, looking back, do you feel like you were in love? Because you said at the time you felt like you were always in love. Like, when you look back now, do you feel like you were in love?
I can probably say maybe one specific person, because I still, I'm not saying I'm in love with them, but I still got love for them to this day. And it's been how long? Like, this was when I was 15, 16 years old. And to this day, like, I love him to death. Like, you know what I mean? What? He's my friend. And I would always, you know what I mean? Have, like, that good relationship with him. And I think it's maybe it was. Couldn't say for 100% sure.
So I guess, like, with that being said, and that's what I'm getting to, like, when you're in like a current relationship, can nobody else compare? And that's kind of what that's kind of where I'm like getting at. And I feel like I hear it a lot very often with men too, like when that woman that they really cared about, and I'm not saying it can't be the other way, but when that woman that they really cared about fucked them over, from then on, it's like, you know, they don't feel that same way towards other women, and then they treat them like shit because you pay for that. And I'm not saying women don't do it too. It's just I do hear it a lot, very often.
Yeah, I
with
think it's
men.
different for men, you know, than women. I mean, obviously, like everybody loves differently. Everybody feels like, you know.
Yeah, I take
love-
every relationship completely separately.
Me too.
I literally, I can say I've loved quite a few people, but the love was different for each and every single one of them.
For
And I
different
don't
reasons.
think anyone was less or more than the other. It was just different.
I feel like you would fail going into a relationship trying to think it's gonna add up to your old relationships because people
Yeah.
are different like that. You can't
Yeah,
even
everyone's
like.
different. You can't.
That's like
We
if
love
I
them
was,
for different things.
Yeah, like if I'm in a relationship with you right now, it's things that you did that I love and it's things that you did that I hate. Like, so it's gonna be the same no matter where you go. Like if you move on, you're gonna find new things that you love and it's gonna be new things you hate. So it's just like a love-hate thing. I don't know. I think it's really a generational thing too because nowadays, like you said, you know, you have the Trump Towers up and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, they up there.
I feel like when you when you're younger, you're not the expectations of being in love is not the same as being an adult.
No,
Because
definitely, yeah.
different things matter when you're an adult. Like, you know, somebody that gives you stability. Like when you're a kid, you're not thinking about stability. You're thinking about fun.
yeah.
How many times we can have sex.
I agree with you.
Shit
I
like
kind
that.
of did just because I was in a stable home. So you kind of want somebody that has like at least a plan. You don't expect them to have their shit together at 17, but like at least a plan for their lives. Like I think, but like I had someone who I can honestly, I thought at the time he was the love of my life, but at that age, like 15, 16 years old, obviously you haven't lived long enough, but he opened my eyes to love. So that's what I consider him. He's the one that let me know I could get to that point because I didn't think I could. I was a very heartless person back then.
What made you so
I was
heartless?
the ice queen. Went through a lot of shit.
At 15?
A lot of fucking shit, yeah.
Wow.
I went through a lot. So I just didn't trust anybody, didn't want to let anybody in, and he opened my eyes that there are good people. And I don't think I'd even recognize him today if I saw him, but I remember him.
That's shitty.
It is. But
Whoever you are,
it's
out
been
there,
a lot of train wrecks.
she remembers what you did. She just
I
doesn't remember
what
your
you
face.
did.
Or your name.
It's fucking bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, that sucks.
People think I'm innocent, but I'm not.
He opened your life to a whole new world. And you just forgot about him.
The wrecking ball
Thank you, women.
I call my life.
This is what women do.
No, I think that's definitely super healthy, and I don't think everyone takes it that way, but I think that's super healthy way to look at it. To look at it like, every relationship is different, and like I've had to look at it that way too. I think in the beginning of my relationship now, it was because it was different, because it wasn't, let's say, puppy love. I knew this person was a great person, and it's just I wasn't feeling those feelings, and I was like, I thought it would be like more instant, and I thought it would be quicker, and I was so worried to be like, it's like, why would I feel it for like an asshole, and then like there's a good person right here, and they're just not coming quickly. So that's what I struggled with, but I was like, let me see where this goes, see what happens, and lucky, you know, there was ups and downs, but luckily enough, like we toughed it out. But that's something like I definitely struggled with in the beginning, and so yeah.
Can I tell you something now? I learned this in life, like being in different situations. Like this might sound crazy, but women love shitheads.
They do.
Like good guys finish last. You see how you got your sleeves rolled up? You ready for a gangster?
I'm a little.
You
I'm a
You
little
can't
hot.
come short fucking with
I'm
Izzy.
a little hot.
You can't come short with fucking with Izzy.
So
Gotta be gangster, man.
They know
It's
this.
not
Like
that.
shit.
It's just like the bad guys are more exciting, more fun.
Exactly.
The good guys
They
are
finish
like,
last.
I have to be
Every
in bed
time.
at 9. Like, are you kidding me?
But leave it up to a female. You would rather have, not you, but females.
That's right.
Would rather have gangster for the excitement and a sucker to lay down with at night.
So for me, that was never my like want. Some people on the show might have a different wants and needs and attractive what have you. So that was never what I wanted. Like even with my first love, it's like I think in my head when he did like really nice things, I made them bigger than what they were, and I like blocked out things that he did that weren't so great. He wasn't a bad person. Like I think like Izzy, no, he wasn't a bad person. He wasn't a bad friend. He my family got along with him and everything. He just wasn't a good boyfriend, and it took me a while to like learn that. And I've always been more attracted to like someone who was kind and someone who was nice. I don't think every woman's like that. I don't think every man's like that, but that's where I was always. I think it was just harder for me to see when he did things that were shitty because it was my first love. Yeah. And even so with the second person I was with before Mr. Perfect, my second relationship, he was like nice, but then he was like, I think he was like narcissistic, so he was nice, but he was very jealous and stuff, and so
really?
extremely jealous of me. And so he was jealous of Izzy. Like he was like, I couldn't even hang out with Izzy. Very jealous of her. But it's like I was.
It all makes sense now. Why you disappeared?
Because I'm amazing.
So I was, but I was attracted to like him being.
She disappeared for a hot second, and I'm like, where my girl at?
No,
It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that.
And, I don't know.
That's why they can't lock me down. You can't lock me down.
Smash.
I need to fly.
But
Was he a cheater?
Let me spread my wings.
So I've never confirmed any of my boyfriends cheating on me, anything like that, or doing. I think that was where I struggled too. Like if someone like cheats on you or hits you or does some insane shit to you, you could be like, oh no, fuck that, I'm not dealing with that. And the thing, and they crossed boundaries that just because they didn't cheat on me, just because they didn't do this, just because they didn't do that, didn't mean that they were good enough for me, because they weren't trying to do better in other areas. And it's like, no one's perfect, but we should be trying to move together in this relationship and be doing better together. And so that, I think that's what I really struggle with. Like, it's just never had time for me, and possibly cheating on me, but I never confirmed it. And that had to be enough. Like, they're showing me that they don't care about me because they can't be there for me.
Yeah, facts.
And so without confirmation, you're trying to ask them, and they're like, no, I love you. And no, you kind of have to like tell yourself, like, they're showing you who you are. And that's almost harder because a lot of times we want that confirmation. We want to see or we want to hear from them, like, oh, I did do this, or I don't love you. I'm for the streets or whatever. Like, we want to like hear it.
Let's not get it twisted.
And
I've had some good drug dealer boyfriends. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know who you are. There's some good ones. Just because they don't make their money the most best way possible.
Well,
I would not call it honest.
I guess if they learn
at
how
the
to
end of the
clean
day,
it.
you're providing a service that people want and clearly need.
Right?
I mean, I guess.
One time I
You're
told
right
a
about that.
DCF worker, because the fucking school kept sending these motherfuckers to my house, and I'm like, I wish I could afford drugs. I wish I could. I would be a happier person right now.
Drugs are pretty cheap right now, so I don't think that's what you
And
want.
she started laughing. She thought it was hilarious.
They're
And I'm
affordable.
like, I would
Yeah,
love to be an
pretty much.
addict right now. That would be great. I wouldn't think about any of this shit. But no,
That's
that's
cool.
not in the cards for me. But I will say, though, those people were the ones that gave back to their community. Those are the people that keep Dirty Tea Podcast rolling. Thank you guys for buying
Right.
your Cartiers, for buying your Cazals.
Shout out.
Shout out to the street pharmacists. Y'all keep the lights going. Thank you.
Keep the lights on. Yeah.
Keep the lights on. Thank you guys.
This is where I don't even want to get into this Just let you guys do your thing on this topic right here.
I'm
Shit.
just saying, like, people who I would call like my hardworking associates and whatnot, they don't be
that's
helping.
another episode.
They don't be buying shit
Viv.
from me.
We got to put
Let's
a
put a
pin
pin
in
in
it.
that.
Let's put a pin in that. We're gonna bring that back. I'm just saying they give back to, and they put money back into their peoples, and I respect them for that. That's all I'm saying.
All right, I'm gonna just say this before you put a pin in it. People that's street pharmaceuticals, they tend to be a little more loose with the spending money. I think people that work for their money a little more tight because they understand they have to work really hard for this
But
money.
that's why I don't purchase from like big
Frugal.
chains. I rather put money in my
Mom and
people's
pop store.
pockets
Right,
because
right.
I know how hard it is to get that, you know,
Right.
because you work so hard for it. Like, I'm always supporting my friends in any entrepreneurships that they do.
That's how it should be.
And that's how it should be. You should be giving back to your peoples, not to everyone else that is already made it. Like, you're trying to help everyone eat. And I'm always collaborating and pairing people up and try to let everybody eat. You know, that's just my mentality.
Why try to help somebody that wouldn't even see you?
Right. They
These
don't even know who you
corporations
are.
don't know you. They would never be able to know who you are.
Right.
They don't care what you
Exactly.
spend.
And they're not
Okay.
helping you.
I have one more question back on topic. Do you feel like you've been compared in your relationship to like
Oh, all the time.
and you feel like you have to pay for the person that fucked them over, the person that
I don't deal with those people. When you get your mental right, come back and see me. If I'm still single, maybe we can go from there, but I don't tolerate that shit. Because I've been through it too. Like, Lord knows I have been through it over and over again, and I never take it out on the next person. That has to do with mental health for me, in my personal opinion. Like, you didn't mourn that relationship, and you need to mourn that relationship in order to move on. You need to see that person as their own entity. I have nothing to do with that. But then I know people who are like close friends of mine. One guy, I'm like, yo, you're one of the best people I know. How are you still single? Because I compare everybody to you, Viv, and I'm like, don't do that, because you're comparing who you think I am. You've never been in a relationship with me. You don't know how I am. I'm completely different in a relationship than I am just out fucking around chilling and you know, just being regular friendships. Like, I'm a whole different person. So you can't go off of that.
See, and it sounds like we all know that and understand that, but like you said, like your friend comparing everybody to you, it's like I've heard of that like so often, comparing everybody to someone that you really care about or somebody that you were with or what have you, and it's just, I feel like that's why they can't be happy in their relationships, and that, I don't know, that
If you're
freaking
not happy
sucks.
in your relationship, that's on you.
You're really cold-hearted. Like,
I am.
I'm sitting back and
That's
I'm
like,
like,
people don't know
You're
the
dangerous.
real me. It's very
I've been
rare
there, though.
that people
I've been
see
there.
the real me.
I've been there mad times. I'm not even gonna act like I
But
haven't.
it's true. Like, if
Been-
you
been in
don't like
situations
something,
where
change it.
I'm ready for something, and the person is not as ready as I am. So, you know, they probably still dwelling on the past and not completely healed, but thought with their heart instead of their mental. Sometimes your heart's gonna lead you astray.
See,
Because
Both
that's
things.
that's a hard
It's
thing
gonna-
because you have two people, right, in
Yeah.
a relationship, and you both are in different places, right?
right.
So it's like, you know, like
That happens all the time.
it's like one person's in it, you know, for the win, and the other person's got to get there or is not really totally in it, and it's like, what do you do?
I
What do
feel
you
like
do?
sometimes this is the way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Opposites attract in everything. So you might be here, they might be there. It's total opposite, but it's just like something that draws you together. You know
And the
what I'm
thing
saying?
is, it's like from the beginning of the relationship, or from the, you know, when you guys are first starting to talk or date, whatever you want to call it, I've always been the type of person to say, look, I'm going to let you know what I'm looking for, what I want.
no,
you, know
you
what I
never
mean?
do that.
But
Never do
the
that.
problem with that is they will agree with you or say,
Exactly.
oh, me too, and then turn around and fucking do something
if they're-
totally opposite because
If
they
they're
just
looking in your eyes, they're thinking, I'm going to get this vagina.
right. No, you're not
protect
I
wrong.
get it.
You're
No,
absolutely
I'm a
right.
man. So if
And
you're
you know
telling
what?
me everything you want,
It's a
I
roadmap.
I might know in
fucked
my
up.
mind that I'm not capable of 75% of those
No.
things. But I'm gonna tell you that
Because you want
I want some vagina.
exactly. That's the fucked up part.
Why
Then
is
you
it so
got-
soothing how he
then-
says vagina? I don't know
Like,
why.
I don't wanna say
Vagina.
pussy. That's like so. That's
Then
ghetto
you
as hell.
then you have
But, like,
you know what I mean. Then that's
vagina
when the
is-
problems come in, when they start like busting out your car windows and like following you. I mean that's when that
Nah, see, so basically what you're telling me is you thought you wanted this vagina, but you didn't because you didn't know how to control yourself after this vagina.
right.
I never bust windows in my life.
Well, I mean, I'm
Never
talking about
stalked.
both parties.
Exes
like,
still
male,
be in love,
female.
right, Isabel? Exes still be
Shit, I'll get my
sometimes.
windows busted. I don't bust
Well,
windows.
but that's what I'm saying. It's. I'm not saying it's the guys. It's both. Like it can go either way. But what I'm saying is that's what ends up happening. You know what I mean? So it's like, why not just be upfront and keep it 100 at the beginning?
No.
Ask yourself that
I think
question.
we should have a whole
I'm
episode.
an honest
Wait,
person.
I think we should
I'm
have
an honest person. I put my shit on the table,
Put a pin in it.
and I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. That's it. That's me.
I think we should have a whole episode. It could be lying in the wait, and then once you get it, like what happens thereafter. I think
This is like a chemistry thing. I don't think you could put a pen in this. You're not gonna be able to
well,
come back to
but-
this conversation.
But that's
But how long do we have for this conversation?
Yo no say.
Yo no sé. You know, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back with part 2, and then we will reiterate how you bust somebody's windows out.
Or how you get to that point.
How you get to that point and what makes you get to that point?
don't know.
Because I think this is a
mean,
very important conversation to
it's
have.
happened. I
It
know
might
people that
save your
happened
windows
to.
in the future. And if it doesn't, hit your girl V Savage
you-
up. I got niggas that work for
your window,
Safe Light. I got
We're
you.
gonna have the busters and the busties.
Busters and Busties. Look out for that episode.
I just
Or you end up running somebody over. I mean, I don't know.
That almost happened a couple times, but
I know people who have. Just saying.
okay.
yeah, we're
It sounds like we
definitely
have some
putting a pin in
busters
this.
here and we have some busties here. So we're gonna apparently that might be the next episode. So yeah, hilarious.
All right, so check us out on social media. Dirty T _. That's the letter T. Dirty T _ podcast. You can catch us on Snapchat, IG, Facebook, and who knows? Maybe someday we'll be back on OnlyFans, but for some reason they won't let me reopen my account. But you know, we're working on it. Plans for the future. Good night, everybody.
No, I don't like to do that.